Hi everyone, I'm Jody and welcome to my channel. I'm so glad that you're here today. If you are new, welcome. I hope you have time to look at all of the videos that are on this channel. It's all about helping women feel and look their most uniquely beautiful. This channel is not about having everybody look exactly the same, nor are we gonna look like some of those YouTube videos that are done by much younger women. We're gonna stay with the maturely modified version of makeup looks on this channel. So today's video I'm really excited about because you guys know I love foundation, I love a full coverage foundation, but I don't wanna look like I have on a full coverage foundation. It's no surprise, I have been a huge Goss fan since the very beginning. I think that's whose tutorials I started watching on YouTube to begin with, were Goss years and years ago. And I just loved his authentic, genuine approach to makeup. He's a celebrity makeup artist, and he has come out with some fantastic brushes, some really nice eyeshadows, and then some nice foundation as of late, and some powder. So today we have our hands on the new Luxury Cream Foundation and the Weightless powder, and we're gonna give it a try. Now we're gonna go through and put it on our whole face. One side we will use with powder, one side we will not powder, and then we'll go through about a 4 and 5 hour check-in, and then an end of the day, about a 9-hour check-in, and see how it wears on our more mature skin. Now the packaging is beautiful, so we'll get into all of that. It comes in 12 shades. I have it in shade 8. The 12th shade is a white color, and it is said to be able to mix with whichever of the other colors matches closest to your skin, and then you will be able to blend it and cream it to get the true unique match for your skin color. So it's a cream foundation, not usually my favorite in creams. I'm more of for mature skin, I'm more of a liquid person, definitely not powder when it comes to more mature skin, but a cream was interesting, and usually the coverage in a cream foundation is really nice. So I can't imagine this is not gonna be fantastically beautiful, but we're gonna put it to the test. It's $38 for 1 ounce, and it's $28 for 0.88 ounces of the powder. You can also buy a sponge applicator that Wayne suggests you put it on with. One side is sort of like the Halo face mitt. It's about this size. I'll insert a picture of it. It's $10. I did not purchase that just because I felt like that's not something everybody's gonna have, and we either have a sponge or a kabuki brush, or some people like to put it on with their fingers. It is said to be a satin finish, which I would definitely agree with, and it is also said to be very buildable, which I would also agree with. And I'm gonna put it on over my sunscreen, which I wear every day, the La Roche-Posay, and then I will use some primer, which you'll see from that point on. So if this is a review that you are interested, if you're looking for some new foundation, then I think you're really gonna be impressed with this. And at the end, like I said, we're gonna review and see how it holds up for our more mature skin. So if you have not already subscribed, be sure to hit that subscribe button. About 20% of you that watch my videos on a regular basis have subscribed. The other 80, I have not converted you yet, but I am really working on that. So if you're on the fence, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Why not? It doesn't cost anything, and you can be notified if you hit the notification bell when a new video comes up, and you don't want to miss some of the new ones that are coming up for summer. So without further ado, let's get into the review. Alright you guys, so let's get started. I'm really excited about this. I have loved Wayne Goss's eyeshadow, so when this foundation came out, I was really excited to get my hands on it. So the first thing I'm going to do, I don't have any makeup on my face at all. I have my eye makeup on, but not my face. I'm going to start with just a little bit of my Tacha primer. This is the Silk Canvas. And again, all the products that I use every day on my daily essentials, as well as what makeup I have on that day of the video, are always listed down below in the description box. Just have to hit that more word underneath my picture under the YouTube box, and it will open up the description and show you all of the eyeshadow and which mascara that I've used and everything for that day. So I'm just gonna put a little bit of this primer on in some areas where I tend to see a little bit more, I don't know, pores, I guess, more than anything else. And this primer has been wonderful for that. And then I'll put just a little bit under my eyes. I have been loving how well this Tacha primer works underneath my eyes to help with the concealer. And I'll link a video to how I use this to really help combat those fine lines and wrinkles underneath my eyes. right up here if you're interested. But this stuff has really been, and now they don't market it as helping with fine lines and wrinkles under the eyes. I just played around with it because of its consistency and thought, gosh, could that sort of fill in the wrinkles? And then if I let it set and put a concealer over it, what would that do? And I was pretty impressed. I was actually very impressed with the result. And I've also done that around my lips to help combat the look of those fine lines around our lips as we age that we sometimes get. I don't know why. And then I will take my Clé de Peau concealer, under eye concealer. This is in Ivory, I believe. Yes, in Ivory. And I will just take a little bit of that and just cover up a few little imperfections so that we can see. I think I'm gonna do that on one side, and then we'll leave this side open and just see open. We'll leave this side plain without using concealer on some of these spots just to see how well this foundation covers. Now it is a satin finish and it is buildable, so I'm excited to see what that satin finish looks like. So it's buildable and you can build it with the sponge application. It looks similar to this. This is not the Wayne Goss one. This is the Face Halo one, but he does sell one that looks similar to this, and he recommends that one side you use to put on the foundation, and he recommends that you swipe down with it, and then the other side is more of a velvet texture, and he recommends that you put on his face powder with that. That's $10. I did not buy it because I just felt like not everyone's gonna have that. And with the foundation being $38 for an ounce and the face powder being $28 for 0.8 ounces. I just didn't want people to feel like they had to buy yet another thing. But if you want his application process or what he recommends, then you can certainly get that on the website. I got all this at Beautylish. All right, so now we'll start with this beautiful foundation. It comes in a nice jar. It's a metal type lid. It looks metal. I don't think it's actually metal. And a really pretty plastic jar. It's a frosted plastic. It says the Luxury Cream Foundation on it. Really pretty. And look at that color. That is color 8. So I am excited to give that a try. It's just packaged beautifully. So let's see how it works. I'm going to use a damp beauty sponge. We'll start with more of a sheer look, and if we need to build it up, we will. So let's see. I got color 8. We'll see how well that works, if that was a good choice or not. It might be a little light, and we will see. So we're going to go with this side first, where I did cover up some of those imperfections. And then remember on this side we didn't, so we'll see. And then I do have some red around my nose, so I'm curious to see how that works. I'm just gonna pounce it everywhere. And you can see the color matches pretty well, I think. And we will just blend that everywhere and see how we go. It's a beautiful, beautiful color. It doesn't appear that you need much. It's definitely sort of, even with a wet beauty sponge, I feel like it's covering very well, almost doll-like skin, which I'm here for it. I love that more full coverage. Boy, and it says it goes on more sheer with a damp beauty sponge. If this is sheer, then I'm gonna really be impressed with the full coverage. So you guys can see that. That is just really, really pretty. And that's a good color, I think, for me. I could have probably went to 9, but 9 was sold out, so I wanted to still try it, and I think 8 would work fine. And again, I think as my skin gets darker in the summer and I use maybe a little bit of self-tanner on my face self-tanner, which I have a video coming up on tanning for the summer, on fake tanning and which products I use and how I kind of prepare my skin. So make sure you are subscribed and have hit the notification button so that you will be notified when that comes out. I do use a self-tanner on my face when I'm gonna go out on a vacation or something, just so that I don't have to wear foundation every day, but I still have a little bit of color. So I'll walk you through that as well. So you guys can see that is really pretty. It's definitely not matte, and it says it's a satin finish, and I can definitely see the satin finish to it, and it really did cover everything and looks very smooth. I hope that looks as beautiful on camera as it does in person, because I'm super impressed. And I'm gonna wear this for about 10 hours today, and I'm gonna give you a 5-hour check-in, and then we'll do a 10-hour end of the day check-in and see how it holds up. So that side is really, really pretty. It looks skin-like, which is what he said it's gonna do. So we'll go back with our damp beauty sponge, and we will go to this side where we did not cover up any imperfections. I mean, you can almost see side by side. This is the face I haven't done, and that's the side that I did do. You can definitely see the difference in coverage, but it doesn't look like I have a full coverage foundation on, but it is full coverage. That's impressive. All right, let's see what this side looks like. I love it when celebrity makeup artists or really successful makeup artists come out with their own line, because they're the ones that use it and use it and use it on different skin types, different skin tones. And they, you know, really have a good sense for what it's like to have need coverage or not need coverage, want matte or not want matte. So I love trying when a celebrity makeup artist comes out, not a celebrity, but a celebrity makeup artist comes out with their own line. I mean, I think that's why Pat McGrath does so well. I think that's why Charlotte Tilbury does so well, Natasha Denona, because they just get it. Like, they've worked with makeup long enough to say, you know, this really does work or this doesn't really work, which is why I also like Makeup Forever, because that brand is made up of a bunch of makeup artists that got together and said, we can do better. So, and they have, I think, a lot of Makeup Forever products are really good. I love their brushes. Their brushes are some of my favorites. But Wayne Goss has stood for quality. I think in his brushes first that came out, and then that eyeshadow that I think I might have mentioned you guys, his eyeshadow palette, one of the first ones that came out. I did my own makeup for my wedding last October, and I used his palette, and it was just beautiful. So, and then I took it into Mexico, and it stood up in the humid, you know, sometimes if you take an eyeshadow palette into that really humid environment, it can, especially the glittery colors, they can tend to sort of get, I don't want to say gluey, but get lumpy. And none of his did, so that was impressive to me. I am really loving the way this covers. So if you wear B or even the BD 40 or 45 in the YSL All Hours, or if you wear the Shine and Illuminate Tom Ford in about the 3.5, 3.7, which is what I wear is 3.7, then I think this 8 would be a good match for you. You can see the color in there. It looks a little more beige maybe than it's gone on, but I'm loving that. I think that looks really pretty. So yay, I'm excited. Okay, so now that we've got that on, I'm gonna go back in with my Clé de Peau under eye concealer, and I just like to put a little bit of that on my finger. And they've come out with new packaging. So if you've, or like, oh, that doesn't look like my normal one, it's new packaging where it's got this gold band around it, but they assured me it is the same formula, and I believe it because I have been using it. So that Clé de Peau Ivory works really well with this number 8 from Wayne Goss, because it's just light enough to give you a little bit of that brightness under your eye without looking like you're trying to highlight or use too much of a concealer. So far I think we're in good shape. So next we're gonna go with a little bit of blush, and then we will set it with his translucent, the Weightless powder. We'll get into that next. So I'm gonna go in with a different damp beauty sponge. And again, this is the ones from Real Techniques. And the reason I like them is because of this edge on that side, how you can see it's just a straight line, and then the tip on this side. So you've got almost 3 different surfaces to work with, from that really pointy area to go up in your eyes to the flat side, which I really love to do this with concealer to get that line where I want to stop my eyeshadow, or if I want to have a little bit of highlight through there. So that's why I prefer these Real Technique sponges. So I'm going to use the Lip to Cheek by RMS, which is also from Lisa Marie Rose, who is a makeup artist. And this is in the Twilight Kiss color. You can see that's really pretty. And I'm just going to take this flat side of it and just get the top part of that flat side on this sponge, just about that much. And then we're gonna go right on top of the cheek, just kind of looking at that arch of my eyebrow and bring that down. That's about as close in as I wanna get. And then I wanna go on just the lower side of the highest point. So if this is the highest point, I wanna go just below that. And again, no farther in than the highest point of my eyebrow. Just gonna be right about there. And just pounce that in. We just want a nice summery type look on top of this. I don't wanna hide this foundation because it is such a beautiful coverage. And something about like that I think will be nice. And then we'll just blend that in. This cream blush by RMS, it's a little hard to blend. It works better, I think, for the lips, but it is such a pretty color. LYS also has a similar color that's really pretty in the cream blushes. I shared with you that the Anastasia of Beverly Hills has some really pretty cream blushes. Kiko Milano, you guys are probably sick of me talking about that one, but that's probably one of my favorite cream blushes. But I thought I used that one all the time, so I would give you a couple different options, and so you're like, okay, we got it. We got the Kiko Milano. We know you love it. What else is out there? And I think this RMS Beauty one came, and it's a clean brand, which is one of the things I love about it. And it came, I believe, in the Sunset palette, but I will look and link it below just in case you're interested in that. Okay, that's really, really pretty. So I hope that shows up just enough to give it just a little bit of color, but doesn't say, hey, I have a lot of blush on today. Because believe me, I've had those days where you can say I've had a lot of blush on. All right, so next we're gonna go into this Weightless powder. And it's very similar in packaging. Now it has my fingerprints all over it. Just has the same type of lid, same type of muted, smoky, matted plastic. It's a very simplistic but clean and elegant packaging, which I can appreciate. And then we're gonna just take this, comes with a nice plastic part. And the other thing I love about this is he did not put a mirror inside of the powder. It's shiny on the outside like a mirror, but it is not a mirror on the inside, which I love it when they don't add that, because we don't need a powder to have a mirror in it, because we know what that ends up looking like. Okay, so from that, he just says use a nice fluffy brush if you don't use the Velcro side of his mitt, which we're not gonna do. I'm just gonna take a little light brush. And this is a Mercier. Now this is actually a contour brush or a highlight type brush. I like this one for powder because of how light it is, but I don't know if you can find this one anymore. So if you can, I will link it. If not, it's just a personal preference. I have plenty of light fluffy brushes that work just fine, but I like this one. All right, so we're just gonna get a little bit on there, and oh wow. Wow. Oh, that's so pretty. Okay, so you can see I just powdered this side and I did not powder this side yet. So throughout the day, I think this would tend to get pretty shiny on me because I do tend to shine throughout the day. That sounded funny. I tend to get shiny throughout the day. I shine in my own head anyway. The powder did not take away that satiny finish, but it did take away sort of the shine, the oil look shine, which you guys know what I'm talking about if you suffer from oily skin. Which that's nice. I'm gonna use the powder on one side, and I'm not gonna powder this side. Now let's just see how that goes throughout the day. What the powder does. I do like the fact that it takes that instant shine away. So we will stop messing with stuff there. Since we're gonna leave it like this for the day, I'm gonna finish off my makeup and just do a little bit of lip liner, which today I'm gonna wear the Pat McGrath in Structure. I've highlighted this one for you guys before. I really do love her. This is the Perma Gel in Structure. I love her lip liners because they're just so creamy and smooth. And the Structure is, I think the Structure will look, the reason I picked this one is because I thought it would go really nicely with this lip that we have on from RMS. Lip and cheek. Just gonna line slightly outside of our line since it's still that trend for this year, which I'm loving it. That's what that Pat McGrath Structure looks like. I love that color. And since that structure's a little bit darker, I wanna lighten the overall look up since it's more of a summery type look. And I'm gonna go in with the Davinci 001. I highlighted this one for you guys just recently in a luxury video. I've loved this. The packaging of it, the way it wears, and that's just so, it reminds me of cotton candy. I mean, who doesn't want to put something that looks like cotton candy on their lips every day? But not on our waistline. That's the best part of it. And just use a little bit of that. Now the thing about this that I do hesitate in terms of a tutorial is because it's gonna look different, which is one of the things that I love about this one and that darker one, the 011, is that it will look different on everyone. So I just don't want you to buy it and go, well, that just doesn't look the same on me, because it's not meant to. So just know that going into it, that if you decide to get it, it may look a different color on you, which is great. All right, so see how that looks, that turned that structure into more of sort of a pink look, which I love. It just adds a little bit of summer without saying that's too much summer. So I think it goes really well with that RMS cheek that we used, and then I've got the Retro Glam on from Natasha Denona on my eyes today. So we're gonna leave it at that. We're gonna see how this foundation holds up. There's the non-powdered side, this is the powdered side. I mean, both sides are beautiful, and we'll see. If I do powder throughout the day, I will let you guys know, but I'm going to try to go 5 hours, 4 to 5 hour check-in, and then we'll do an 8 to 10 hour check-in. So I will see you soon. Okay guys, so I decided to bring you with me on my afternoon walk just so I could see what this foundation looks like out in the light. Again, this is the side that we didn't powder, and it looks a little shinier than it did, you know, 4.5 hours ago, but not unflattering shiny. So I wouldn't hesitate to not use the powder, but had I not seen what it looks like with the powder. I think the side with the powder just looks more flawless. It looks more, the finish is truly more of a satiny, glowy finish with that powder veil over it, if you will, where this side looks fine. I just think this side looks a notch better than fine. So you can see it doesn't look like it is gathering in any, you know, it's not bunching anywhere, either without the powder or with the powder. It still has really good coverage. I did eat lunch earlier. I tend to get red around my nose. It doesn't look like that's happening. It's still wearing really nicely. So he did say that he made this foundation for all skin ages. And I have to say, so far, I'm pretty impressed with it. So, hi, you guys. So we are back for it's actually been 11 hours, if you can believe that. I am tired and I really just want to go wash my face and go to bed. But I did want to really give this a good wear to see how it performs throughout the day. I worked out today. I was outside doing some yard work. So this makeup has been through it. What I would say is the side I powdered definitely has a more matte look to it than the other side. But the other side, neither one of them wore better than the other. I do think that the side that I did not powder, it's definitely shinier. I'm just looking in the mirror. It's definitely shinier, and I can see it separated a little bit around my nose area where I do tend to get really oily. If I'd have powdered that throughout the day, I think I probably could have had a little better result. What I loved about this is it didn't transfer on either side. Now, what I will say is if you want a more sheer coverage, then I would definitely wear less than I did. And I think that would be the key. I think because it covers so beautifully and it's such a nice color that it just gives you a flawless, it's so pigmented. It gives you such a flawless look that wears really well. I think I would wear less of it. And I also think that if I had dry skin, I would probably, I just realized I didn't put on any earrings for this last touch up today. I think if I had dry skin, I would probably use a little bit of face oil and put that foundation on a sponge, on a damp beauty sponge, and then dip that beauty sponge in my hand and get some of that oil on it, because I think it would spread it out a little bit better. Because it goes on a little bit thicker, a little goes a long way. A little definitely goes a long way. But you can see that, I mean, it is just stunning. It's absolutely stunning. And I think that the Tacha primer that I put on definitely held up nice underneath it. So I have no complaints over it. I mean, this may be, you know, I love the Tom Ford Shine and Illuminate, but it is expensive. So I really wear it for special occasions. This could be my new daily foundation because I still look, 11 hours later, like I have on foundation. So I will quit going on and on about this. What I would say is I don't think you could go wrong with it. So I love it. I will put a link below on how to get it. I got it at Beautylish. I think it's only distributed by Beautylish based on what I'm looking at the back of the back of the container. So I think you guys would love it. Yeah, and it's 38 bucks. So that's not bad for a nice luxurious foundation that wears super, super good all day long. All right, I will stop babbling. I'm just super excited to find a good foundation that I feel very, very comfortable sharing with you guys. Have a good rest of your day. Share this video with anyone else that is looking for a good foundation and a good powder, and I will see you next time. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.